Now we're working. Thank you. So, again, the whole point of tonight, the next hour, however long we want to do this for, is to give some life lessons, as my daughter calls it, to give some advice on kind of what actually works. There's a lot of stuff that you learn during an internship and a job, like the technical skills, the hard skills, how to do this, how to, formulas, all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that they don't teach you, whether it's universities or whether it's at your job whenever you get a job. And that's the soft skills. That's the people skills. That's how do you influence your team. You get an idea how to, I'm going to speak mainly from the oil and gas business, but I know a lot of people here had interns. I think Carl had one at Apple, I believe, right? And then someone else went at Google. So this isn't just strictly oil and gas right now, but from my background, I'm going to speak about oil and gas, okay? But there's a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about that you can apply to every other place right now, okay? So the whole point of this, the whole concept of this is that there's a need. There's a need for smart, bright, problem-solving engineers, right? There's a need in this world for that. Oil and gas space is especially a need for that. However, y'all have a want. Y'all want to get jobs. You want to get internships. You want to level up, right? So a lot of times, just because there's a need, just because there's a want, doesn't mean they connect. We're here tonight to kind of help shorten that gap, to make those connections, okay? So we're going to go over a couple things. The first thing, spacebar? Okay, so I'm not going to read all these slides. This slide is pretty much saying at the end of the day, your growth, your responsibility, your pursuing training, development, personal growth, that's all on you, okay? Not leaving it up to schools, not leaving it up to other people, other companies to kind of bring you in. Everything is on you, okay? The actions that you take is directly your responsibility. The last line is the only person that's responsible for you is you, all right? And again, I'm going to go high-level stuff. I do have another video out from last week, text saying that I could share with the group, but I'm going to go over just high-level stuff, the stuff that's important, the stuff that I think is really going to stick. Why is soft skills important? Listen, at the end of the day, you could be the best engineer. You could be the brightest engineer, the brightest mind. If you don't know how to influence your team or communicate to your leader or communicate to the people that work with you, if you have a different idea, you're not going to be effective. Having strong, good communication skills is definitely going to just help launch your career, just help get connected and also pursue things and influence your team. At the end of the day, influencing people to make better decisions, to pursue a different path, whether it's cost cutting, being more efficient in operations, that's what's important. So as you can see here, all these stats, all it is improving your communication skills. It just pays off. It does. And there's a huge need for this right now. How many people had internships last summer? A couple people did? Okay. All right. How many people are looking for internships or looking for jobs currently? Okay, and everyone's going to the career fair next week, I believe? Yes, sir. All right, cool. All right. So let me ask you a question. The stuff I'm going to go over tonight, and I'll go over a list right now. LinkedIn, personal branding, building your network, communicating with confidence, building your elevator pitch. Let me ask you a question, because this is for y'all, okay? Well, first off, I want to thank Diamondback. Diamondback, I was doing this summer, and I was going over Midland, Houston, Oklahoma City. I was working with interns about kind of how to build an elevator pitch, because career fairs are coming up. A lot of times, we don't know what to say when it comes to recruiting, right? How do you squeeze in who you are, what you want to do in that 30 seconds that you have their time, right? In this noisy room. So I started doing that. Diamondback, they reached out and said, hey, listen, we can't hire everyone, but we want to help everyone. So they partnered with me to start going to university. So that's why we're here tonight. And I want to say thank you to them. They help the schools out. They help the communities out. Anyway, so thank you all. Everyone, make sure you introduce yourself to Joanne out there. So let me ask you all a question. Show of hands or by talking. What do y'all want to get out of tonight? What's kind of the top three things y'all are digging about this list right now that could, yes?
Confidence, communications, LinkedIn presence, and building network.
Okay, perfect. What else?
He gets a hat for that too.
Oh, 100%. Of course, yes. Yes, we have hats up here. So thank you for volunteering. Okay.
Oh, and I'm James. I'm a civil engineering major.
Civil engineering? Okay, yes.
My name is Kyler Baker. I'm a junior in the engineering major. And I would say definitely building your elevator pitch, building your network, and as well as confidence and communication.
Okay.
My name is Essence Murray. I'm a senior math major with a minor computer
Okay. So pretty much, yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Solomon Bani, currently a PhD student in medical engineering. Thank you so much. And Thank you. What I want to get out of this is some sort of formula or some sort of benchmark to compare what I've been doing in the past and see where I'll correct it.
What do you mean? What have you been doing in the past?
So, I mean, I've been doing elevator pitches, but I have this, I believe in the concept of never stopping to improve.
Right.
There's always that one thing to improve. So the more you learn, the better it is.
Let me just put a pin on that because I love how you just said that. Never stop improving. A lot of times you're in your career and you're going to see people, you're going to know people that get complacent. They're fine with their jobs, they're fine doing this, they're fine not going down the hallway and seeing where they can help out or learning something new. I love how you just said that because that's what I'm focused on right now. That's what I see helping people throughout their careers. Never stop improving, y'all. And that's on you. That's not on the company. When I first got in the industry, it was a lot of like, oh, here's your mentor. Here's your program that your mentorship's y'all gonna do together. That's not that common these days. So never stop improving. It's up to you to go seek out mentors. If someone inspires you at a company or someone has really good energy, they're sharp, you just kind of, you jive with them or are just very like a superstar at a company, talk to them, introduce yourself, ask them questions. So so seek out mentorship, never stop improving. So from sourcing the crowd, we're gonna go over LinkedIn first. How many people are on LinkedIn right now?
Everybody needs to be on LinkedIn.
Everyone needs to be on LinkedIn. All right. How many people utilize LinkedIn on a weekly basis? Yeah? Yes, sir. Okay. Sometimes? Okay, no, that's fine. And that's fine. And here's the deal. Y'all, I get it. It's not normal for college students to be on a professional website, a professional career-building website. I would say this. Don't wait till you graduate to get on LinkedIn and start being active on LinkedIn, okay? When you get on LinkedIn and you start engaging with the community, whatever industry you're trying to get into, okay? So who's trying to get in the oil and gas energy space right now? By show of hands. Okay. Okay, what other industries are we trying to get into? Yes?
Biomechanical.
Okay.
Automotive.
Automotive? Construction, okay. Okay, wow. So we have a broad, diverse group of people here that are getting in different industries, different interests, different civil engineer, mechanical engineer. So I'm going to speak to oil and gas, but this is not just oil and gas. This is to every single industry out there. Professionals use LinkedIn. The sooner you get on LinkedIn, the sooner you start making connections, whether it's through, and we're going to go over who to connect with, how to connect. But the sooner you start making connections and start engaging with people, you're going to start building your personal brand, which is another word for your online reputation. It's kind of like dating. You know, you're not going to get someone's name and not stalk them. You're not going to cyber stalk them, right? Let's be honest. You're not going to go see if they have Instagram. You're not going to see. Same thing with LinkedIn, y'all. Okay? And so I challenge y'all, get active on LinkedIn now. Okay? I don't care if you're a sophomore. Yes?
What's going to be the best way to get active on LinkedIn coming in as a fresh?
Okay, perfect. Set up a profile. No, that's fine. Yeah, so the best, okay, how about this? I'm going to go into kind of the content to put out there and kind of how to engage and all that stuff. We're definitely going to get into that. But as a freshman, I love how you're on it. I seriously do. I think everyone needs to be on it, needs to be more active on it. I'm not going to go over this. Profile optimization, have a clear picture of yourself. Have kind of a more professional shot. I knew a guy that had the same picture for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Bumble. He was on everything. Don't. You have different personalities for each of those social websites. Have a professional shot, something that looks professional. How about that? And if you don't have a professional shot, we have a great background right here, and the iPhone is unbelievable these days. Do something like that, okay? Right here, mention that you're a student, maybe mention that you're an engineering student, but also mention what you want to do, okay? So this is why algorithms picks up on this. So let's say I want to be a drilling engineer, okay? I would say senior mechanical engineering student, Prairie View A&M, aspiring drilling engineer, okay? So put what you're aspiring to be there because when people are trying to find you, that's how it's an algorithm that's keyword buzz, okay? And obviously, please chime in if I'm missing anything from LinkedIn.
No, you're rocking it. So that's exactly right. If I want to find Prairie View kids on LinkedIn, so the back end of LinkedIn has something called LinkedIn Recruiter. All the recruiters are in that. We'll go in, we can select the school that we want to target, and we can type in the major we can type in what are you aspiring to be. So we can search on every single field, and we do.
Where else can you search? That you could if you wanted to.
We could, if we wanted to, look on all social media. So if you're
Right.
doing a job, keep it clean.
Right?
Clean it up.
And that's just not Diamondback, y'all. That's not just oil and gas. That's many different industries. And that's been going on for a while. Companies now will dive into your Facebook and all this. So all this stuff from years and years ago, they'll find it. So anyway, so have a picture, have a background, and literally just put a little bit about you. So this is just your profile, but all y'all have profiles right now. So now we're going to talk about how to engage. Like, what do you put out there? How do you engage with someone as a freshman, right? As a sophomore, as someone who's about to graduate in December? What are we doing? How do we get involved in the communities? If you're sitting here in Prairie View A&M, how are you connecting with people in Dallas or in Chicago, right? Or in wherever it is, wherever the construction or aerospace engine, wherever that is, how are you connecting? That's through LinkedIn. It's free. It's a tool. It's not a social media website. It's a tool for y'all to use, all right? And it's free. All right, so why do you use LinkedIn? All right, obviously network, to get connected with people, right, to understand people. So at the end, I'm going to put my credentials. I would love for everyone to connect with me after this. I want to say connect with y'all. Personal branding. This is kind of one of those things, it's your reputation. So people know who I am just because I do a lot of content. I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. That way, they'll probably respond to an email a little bit quick. Or if I invite them to a networking event, they'll probably respond just because my online branding, my online reputation is consistent. It's always there. So if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on this, be consistent with using LinkedIn. Don't use it. I know I was working with some interns this summer, and I was like, I challenge you to get on LinkedIn 3 times a week. Like, oh, I got this post. Once I'm done with my internship, I'm going to make that post. You're going to make one post in 3 months? Like, it's going to be this like thing that's going to like open up doors. You're going to like, well, get this guy in. Let's make him a CEO. No. Like, be consistent with it and be active. And I'm going to talk about what to kind of go over. All right, job search and recruiting. That's obvious. Industry news and insights. This is a good, like literally, no one likes reading industry news and insights unless you kind of want to, but this is such a great low-hanging fruit once you start connecting with someone in the construction space, or once you start connecting with someone, hey, I saw that there's this new automated drilling rig out there. Are y'all planning on using this? So you can take the information you get on LinkedIn and correlate that into reaching out to people and connecting with people, okay? So you can use that, all right? Skill development and learning. I think LinkedIn has skills and certificates you can get. I actually go to Coursera, something like that. I actually go through, what is it called? Yeah, Coursera. I do a lot of, that's a great website. I do a lot of search through there. So LinkedIn has all that. But anyway, I primarily would say, as a student, utilize it for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Seriously, I would use it for those top 4 reasons. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. Let's talk about first building your connections online. Let's talk about that first, and then let's talk about how to kind of start contributing, being active, engaging with people on LinkedIn. So the first thing is, when you are reaching out to people, there's this big confusion where it's like, well, I got to know this person. I have to meet JP before I connect with JP. No, you don't. That's the beauty part about LinkedIn. Connect with someone. You see someone in a title position that you're interested, you want to learn a little bit more about, connect with them. Send them a request. Not everyone's going to accept, doesn't matter. It's kind of it's a game of numbers at this point. So reach out to people you don't know that you aspire to meet, that you want to learn a little bit more about it. And y'all are students. People love talking to students. They love, if you can pull someone aside and say, hey, how'd you get to where you're at? I'm a student. Oh my gosh. Like, make sure you have a seat because they're going to be talking, they want to talk to you. People want to share their knowledge, okay? So when you are reaching out to people, try to find people that you might have some interest in. Or even if it's like, I don't know what this is about, I'm going to connect with them anyway. Just try to just talk to them a little bit, okay? And then here's the deal. It is uncomfortable talking to people like strangers, professional strangers on the internet. Get used to being uncomfortable, okay? Lean into that, because it's not uncomfortable. Like, get used to being uncomfortable, okay? Let's see what else. Yeah, so, look, listen. When you are connecting with someone, shoot them a message. Don't personalize the message. You can do prompts to save time. If you can do prompts, different positions and all that stuff, but make it personal. I get a lot of people sending me stuff about like cranes and franchise. Yeah, exactly. I don't do anything with cranes. But anyway, make it personal, okay? And then, yes?
When you're reaching out to somebody,
Yeah.
How long would that first message have to be?
I would keep it short and sweet. Short and sweet. I would do
2 sentences, nice and concise.
I would do 1 to 3 sentences.
You could even say, hey, I see you're in the industry I'm trying to break into. Would love to connect.
Yeah, that easy. Like, you have to think about this also. Just like when we get an elevator pitch, just like whatever, just like content, okay? We all have what we want to say. We all have stories. We all have a resume that we want to tell recruiters. Oh, I've done this, I enjoy this. You got to think about this. A message on LinkedIn, an elevator pitch, that's kind of like a real life reel, okay? How often do you go through a reel, do you swipe up on a reel if it's not interesting? If it doesn't get your attention, if it's too long, if it's too, where's this going, if it's not concise, right? You go pretty quick, right? So same with a message, same with an elevator pitch. It has to be concise, capture their attention, and that's it, right? It's your real life reel, pretty much, all right? So, no, okay. So, yeah, when you are reaching out, it's that simple. And I encourage y'all to reach out. Don't wait for, okay, this is the right, no, yeah, this is the person I'm gonna reach. Yep, okay, that's the one. Do it to a bunch of people, all right? Because you're gonna get one piece of advice, and then you might talk to someone else, and a little nugget of knowledge might resonate with you a little bit more. So that's how you build your networks too. So yeah, reach out, simple question. If you wanna learn more about them, ask them. And this is networking, that's it. You're asking people about themselves, and people like talking about themselves. So building networks, let me try to think if there's anything else on LinkedIn. When it comes to expanding your networks, it's just really sending requests and shooting messages to connect. That's it. And just literally just asking. And I would request, hey, listen, can we hop on the phone? Could we do a Zoom? Or, because you're not in the cities where they might be, I would just maybe do a Zoom or something like that. You know, that and literally and I wouldn't say, hey, listen, give me 30 minutes. Ask for 15. Ask for 15. Chances are they're going to talk to you for 30 to 45, but ask for 15. Put goalposts on that, okay? Let them know what they're going to be stepping into. Like, hey, you have 2 hours to talk? No, I have 15 minutes, and then they'll probably talk for 2 hours, okay? So, no, seriously. So now let's talk about engage. So we're going to talk about as a freshman, what are you going to say, right? As a junior, what do you say? As a senior, how do you start kind of being active on LinkedIn? This is how, okay? It's sharing your experience. It's being yourself. It's being authentic, okay? You're not subject matters at much yet, but you are having an experience that a lot of people want to learn from. There's such a need for the oil and gas industry to learn from y'all, okay? And that's where this comes in. That's where your engagement, your content comes in. And this is all about content, how to engage with people. So the first one, let's say you had an internship this summer. What did you learn that other people can learn from? What's something valuable that you could share? Is there a better process for companies to come speak to colleges? Is there a new way that you're learning about this AI? Can this AI be applicable to aerospace and this kind of different, is something valuable? Can someone learn something from you, right? So again, is it valuable? Can someone learn? And listen, you're not talking to a million people. If you can affect one person, put it out there, all right? If you can help one person or make someone understand something a little bit more, put it out there, okay? Experience. As a freshman, what experience do you have to really kind of offer, contribute? You don't. However, this is a good one. I just sat through an hour personal branding, whatever, from Diamondback and all that. So I learned this. I'm going to work on this. So what experience do you have? Internship. Are you learning something in a segment in a class I don't know what that means, but go with me here. Are you learning something in a class that you find it very fascinating that could be industry-based? That you can relate to the industry, right? What new stuff are you learning in school that the industry or someone in the industry might want to know? Whatever industry you want to get into, all right? Vulnerability. Hey, I'm a freshman. I don't know what to talk about on LinkedIn. However, I'm really enjoying exploring this new platform. meeting new professionals. I don't know how to connect, but I'm here to connect. Showing vulnerability, y'all, when it's networking or content, I got some of the best, contacts when I started. I experienced imposter syndrome, okay? And we'll get into that a little bit. It's pretty much a limiting belief that I have, right? That who am I to speak in a room full of engineers? Who am I to, have a company? Who am I to do this stuff? I started sharing those limiting beliefs, that vulnerability. It started to resonate with a lot of people because a lot of people have the same feelings. Over 80% of people have the feelings that I was having, no one talks about. It's always this hustle culture, we got this rise and grind and all that stuff. Once you start kind of showcasing vulnerability, whether it's about what you're experiencing, what you're going through, class, whatever it is, balancing class, trying to find whatever it is, put it out there. It's okay to be vulnerable because that's actually when you start being authentic and you start connecting with people, okay? Any other questions about content? So, okay, let's say we are nervous. I don't want to do a post. I don't want to do a post. It makes me nervous. Start engaging with people. Bless you. Start engaging with people. Like if you see someone have a picture or, okay, I'm going to post a picture of all of us after this, okay? If you see it good, hey, really enjoy the JP. That was the best thing we've ever sat through in our entire lives. That'd be great to put under there, right? And you can put that. But no, seriously, start commenting. Hey, that's interesting. What's this all about? Can it do X, Y, Z? Start asking questions. Start having dialogue. And listen, I'm not saying spend all your time on LinkedIn, but take time out at least 3 times a week to start getting comfortable with it. And here's the deal. A lot of people, they wait for perfection. They miss greatness for perfection. They want this post has to be this way. Don't do that. Put something out there, all right? It's just like a reel we see right now. People are going to forget about it anyway. Just put it out there, okay? Chances are it's going to help you more than it hurts you. All right, anything else when it comes to engaging or on LinkedIn and all that stuff? Again, this is all going surface level stuff because it's school night on time.
So would you say once a month, and how much engagement is too much engagement?
Oh, you got to see my stuff. No, there's never too much engagement, okay, in my opinion, all right? Once a month? No. It should be, this is, you want this consistent. I don't know the algorithm or anything like that, but the more consistent you are, the more people see your name, the more people see what you're interested in, the more people seeing, wow, she's really in renewable energy, or wow, she's a subject matter expert in this. Then the more they're going to jive you, the more they're like, hey, why don't you come on in when you're in town, and who knows what can happen? Who knows what doors can open? Don't wait for a month. Don't wait for 3 months to do that end of internship post. I was telling these people, you should probably be doing every week, at least doing 1 post, because you're learning so much in that week of your internship. Y'all are learning so much right now in school. So be more active. And and if you're nervous about making a post, just engage with people. Ask people questions. That's the best way to do it. Literally, asking questions is literally one of the best ways to learn more and just have people connect with you. Because people like, again, talking. Anything else on LinkedIn? Yes?
So what do you think the best way is to show vulnerability without oversharing about yourself?
Well,
I know that there's the fine line between I'm having trouble in classes, or it's or would it be better to be I'm glad I found this group to connect with that helps me, that we can all connect through this.
So on LinkedIn, I find that the majority of engagement comes from when you're positive. So again, I have imposter syndrome, it's tough for me to deal with this, but honestly, me talking about this is just helping others feels good. I'm struggling. That's tough and all that stuff. But again, you got to think about this. Think about if you're going to your boss. You're not going to go with your boss with a complaint, right? You're going to your boss with a complaint, but also 3 solutions, right? Just like that. If you're being vulnerable, I like that aspect. Hey, but honestly, 2 weeks ago I was going through this, X, Y, Z. But I'll tell you one thing, I found this great group, and it's really helped. I think if I went through that, I think other people are too. So connect with people. Get have good circles. Have a good group of people around you that can pick you up versus put you down. Okay? So obviously, be vulnerable, but have a lesson to it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you're talking about vulnerability and you have a group, that's a great, you overcame something. You have a group now. So that's part of the storytelling. Yeah. So what else about LinkedIn? Did that answer your question?
Yes.
A little bit? Okay. What else? And again, honestly, after this, I know it's school night, past 7 o'clock. If you do have any questions, shoot me a message, okay, on LinkedIn. You like that? Anything else? Seriously. And if we go past something and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't ask this, just ask, okay? Honestly, types of content, industry and professional achievements, blog posts, articles. You see something cool, talk about it. How does it affect you? How do you see it playing in your life? All right? I do a lot of videos lately. I'm not getting it. What am I talking about? Who cares? Okay. I know, right? So I loved it. Oh, yes.
Sorry, I had a question about LinkedIn.
What?
So, a lot of times, where do you draw the line? Like, I know it's meant for professional networking, but sometimes people tend to get political on them. So, where do you draw the line?
Always be political. 100% no. Like, stay away from that. Stay away from that. No, listen. People will get political on LinkedIn. People will prove a point and all that stuff. Whenever you come to this is not just LinkedIn. This is something that don't ever try to prove to someone that you're right and they're wrong, or that they're stupid or your ways are right. Honestly, when it comes to all the political stuff, I stay far away from that. And I think you do what you want to do, but I say stay away from it. I also say don't engage in, because there's some people that are just bored, they're angry, they lost their job, they can't find a job. There was this one guy, I posted a picture of me, and it was like 3 people that just graduated their MBAs, and we're smiling, right? This is right after the pandemic, all right? And this guy commented, he's like, oh, glad to see y'all are making all this stuff. I'm like, dude, you don't know my backstory. Like, I'm broke as a joke right now. Like, are you kidding me? But he was so negative, and I was pissed at that. I'm like, who are you to judge us what we're going through? You don't know what we're going through. So I took a step back, and I responded. I actually reached out to this guy and said, hey, listen, you don't know what anyone's going through and all that stuff. But that being said, I've seen your stuff. You seem very angry. He was a directional driller. I was like, he's an older directional driller. I'm like, you're talking smack to every youngin' that comes in. You're talking trash to every directional drilling company. How is that benefiting you? Do you think people want to work with you if they constantly see you just talking like trash? No. So I said, you have a lot of experience. Highlight your experience. Showcase your experience. You're a really good directional driller. You can lead teams. Talk about that, not how these kids these days don't understand. Like, don't do that. So be positive, and whether someone disagrees with you on stuff, turn it into an opportunity for a connection versus dividing, okay? So stay away from political stuff.
Keep it somehow relevant to work.
Yes, yeah.
Don't go,
That's for Facebook.
yeah.
That's for Facebook. If anyone still uses that, that's for Facebook.
Your next door app,
Oh, see, I'm not on that, but I think if I was on Nextdoor, that'd be a fun rabbit hole to get down. I would love, obviously it brings up, I mean, she tells you probably everything that's going on. I love it. My wife's on it. I love it. I'm like, give me the juice. So, hey, listen, getting back to this. I want you to think about your network, and I see this so often with professionals that make it to like VP level or C-suite, like, oh, I don't need a network. My position is going to cover me when things happen. That could not be the furthest from the truth. I don't care what position you get into. I don't care if you do not have a network and people around you to help you, to open up doors. Same with you. Then you're not going to go, you're only get so far. So there's a gentleman that I always like, hey, listen, you got to come to these networking events I have. Like, it's a table full of people that you want to be around. It's a table full of, aerospace engineers that you want to be around. Oh, man, JP, I'm good. I'm VP. I don't need that. I'll tell you what, I'll go there when I have time. Okay. What happened? Well, there's been a lot of companies that have been acquired, a lot of consolidation going on. Flash forward about 12 months, he's like, hey, I can finally come now. I'm like, that's great. But you want to know what? In that time that you didn't come, there's been about 12 companies that have been acquired, and there's probably about 50 of you on the streets right now looking that could probably do your job better, more efficient, and cheaper. Don't wait to build your networks. Don't wait till you graduate, or once I get my internship, start it today, all right? I like this, mainly because I made it up, but I also like the concept of like, your network is kind of like a garden, okay? You don't plant a garden when you're starving, right? You don't plant a garden when you're really hungry, you need the food, you need the substance. You plant when you got the time, okay? You have the time right now. Always build it, don't stop building it. You get to a position, continue to build your network, all right? Again, that's on you. Some companies, they have a culture, it's like, hey, you don't need a network, you just need to stay in this network in our company. You are responsible for your path, your trajectory. Network. Build it. We are hyper-connected. We have, thousands of followers, hundreds of this, hundreds of that, but how many people can you pick up the phone and talk to? I think right now it's a lot at y'all's age level. The older you get, the fewer and fewer that number is, okay? So we're hyper connected. That means we have so many friends virtually, right? But how many true people can we actually pick up the phone, ask for advice? Hey, do you know anyone hiring over here? Hey, they're coming at me with this salary, but this company has this salary. What do you think I should do? The more connections you have, the right connections, people will take time for you and they'll care about you. And that's the thing that I find differentiates friendship with aspirational circles. I had a lot of friends when I started my company, but I realized that they wanted me to be at a certain level. And you're going to find this too in your career. You're going to find people that you're going to get to a certain level, they're going to want to keep you there, right? Like, oh, you don't need to be doing more. You don't need to be doing more. Screw that. Be in control and responsible for your path. You might have to shed people along the way, but that's part of it. It's part of growth. It's part of growing, okay? Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, so oil and gas. I don't know if y'all know this. It's a very volatile industry, However, connections make it a little more stable, okay? And I don't care if it's oil and gas. I don't care what industry it is. You have more connections. You have a bigger, broader network. It just creates a lot more stability. A lot more opportunities can open up, but also you can help them out as well, okay? It's who you know, not what you know. And I know y'all are engineers, but this is not based on any data, all right? This is just kind of a concept I put together. You get to a point in your career, it doesn't matter how good of an engineer you are, okay? It really doesn't. It does matter who you know, and that's teams you influence, teams that pick you up. The more people you know, the more opportunities open up, right? So again, you could be the best engineer in the world. However, that matters only for a few short years of the beginning of your career, okay? Build your networks. It's fun too. I dig it. Uncover opportunities, you help others. Springboard. There's a lot of times you're going to get in a fork in the road when it comes to your career. Use your network. Have them, what would you do? Gauge that, but also trust your gut. Okay, this might be a little technical, but I think of networking, it's like, I'll go to networking events sometimes. It's just like a sea of people. And I'll get like stuck on one conversation with one person who turns out that they're a financial planner for an hour and a half. It's not really beneficial. But when that happens, before you walk in, time is compressed lately, time is short, time is valuable. When you walk into a room, try to do a little work before. Who's going to be there? Who should I network with? Who's going to be there? What type of people are going to be there? Are they going to be mechanical engineers? This level, this level, this level. What are they going to be focused on? So do a little homework before and try to identify certain people that you kind of want to be around, that you need to be around, you should be around. So mentorship, finding people in positions that are above you, that want to see you grow, that want to foster your growth, your career growth. Find them. Find the people that you should be around. That's recruiters, that's people that are hiring, right? That's companies that are hiring. And people that you need to be around, I would say that's people that you'll probably be right under learning from. So try to be more strategic with your networks. Don't go home with a stack of cards after a networking event this big that's going to collect dust on your dresser. Be strategic with it, okay? So need, want, should. Try to think of it that way. Any questions? Building networks? Nope, okay, all right. Hey.
I had a question. You said, so we build a network. How do we maintain relationships with the people that we have networked with?
So, okay, that's good. So one way to, you're talking about you make a connection. How do you continue that connection, right? Okay, so the first thing when it comes to networking is, I don't know if it's the next slide or not, but I think, yeah, okay. So when you are meeting people and you are connecting with them, the most important part of after any networking event is following up, all right? Following up. Following up. That is so crucial. I'm repeating that for a reason. I want that to stick. We'll go sometimes to network events, get all these cards, all these names. Oh, that was good. That was successful. If you don't follow up, they're not going to remember you. They're not going to remember what y'all talked about. They're not going to remember, oh, wait, who's this person again? Oh, Prairie. They're not going to remember anything like that. So when you are continuing these relationships, continuing these connections, follow up. And how do you follow up? That's done through either saying, hey, it's great meeting you. Could we maybe grab a cup of coffee next week? Whatever. Set another date up to continue the conversation. If there's something you're talking about, maybe it's a new technology in blah, blah, blah land, and you see an article that talks about technology in blah, blah, blah land, send it to them, right? So having these little, it's kind of like sending memes to your friends, just letting you know I'm thinking about you. We haven't talked in a while, but I'm thinking about you. It's the exact same thing. So you're really just kind of sending little like connection reminder points to people, whether it's articles, podcasts, books, something funny you saw, maybe kind of that in their area, right? So it's just maintaining these connections. Like, it doesn't have to be like an in-depth 35-minute conversation every time you follow up. You'd be like, hey, saw this, thought that might be applying to you because I'm on LinkedIn and I see you doing this on LinkedIn. Because we're on LinkedIn now, right? Constantly, consecutively. So if you just see something that reminds you of this person, or maybe they might want to know this, that's how you follow up.
You could even, if you're a student and you know you've got career fairs coming up or events, and you want an employer to be there, you could ping them that event and say, hey, we're doing this, are you coming? You know, it'd be great to see you again. Or, hey, our career fair's in a month's time, will you be there? So then you kind of keep that connection open, but in a professional way.
And if they say, no, I'm not, but Ashley Adams will be there for me, you got the contact now. You got the name, you got the contact, you know? So I love sending people invites to my events, like, hey, I'm out of office, but if you want to get in touch with Julie and contact this person, I'm like, ooh, got another name. So, yeah, so ping people, reach out, yeah.
As you're building your network and you start building connections with all these different people, what's a good way to make sure that you're able to juggle all these people and these connections so you don't lose contact with them?
Well, you're not always, every connection you make doesn't have to be hot. It doesn't have to be a hot connection that you always got to press and all that stuff. Just having someone that you know at this, so let's say it's Amazon, right? Let's say I meet someone from Amazon and all that stuff that I want to know, right? I connect with them. You don't have to maintain like connection with them nonstop. As long as they're in your network now, as long as you've talked, as long as you've established that first string of communication, right? Does that make sense? Like, hey, I met you, great talk. I see you're at Amazon, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to talk to them every week or every day. But if there's a scenario comes up where it's like, actually, I probably need to talk to someone at Amazon. Okay, I'll ping JP because he's over there now. So you don't have to keep every connection hot and all that stuff. Once it's on LinkedIn, you can filter it, what city they're at, what industry they're in, what title they have, and all that stuff. So LinkedIn kind of does it for you. But I would say just building it first would probably be the first step. The second step, just if you see, again, it's like sending memes. If you see something that they appreciate, enjoy, or find value out of, shoot them a note. That's it. And then if you do want to have that, like, hey, we have to have a serious business conversation, at least enough communication, enough contacts have been established where it's comfortable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, I mean, I know some people that juggle with Excel spreadsheets. And that's a lot of time. If I need to know someone at Prairie View A&M, I'll type Prairie View A&M and I'll just see who I know there and I'll reach out to them. Hey, can you connect me with someone in the whatever, to Peyton, whatever, right? All right. Okay, so we talked about following up. I want to talk about when we actually do go to networking events on kind of how to go in the room and how to open up conversations, right? And how the proper way to do that. So first off, how many people go to network events off campus yet? A couple people? Cool. Couple. Okay. All right. And what is that experience like for y'all?
To some extent, it's somewhat overwhelming. So,
Overwhelming? Yeah.
overwhelming. And it's, just a little bit of imposter syndrome. Yeah, but within 25 to 30 minutes, after a glass of water.
Relax a little bit. Right. Okay, so overwhelming. What about for you?
Jackson, freshman civil engineer. I think actually I went to my first one, Battle of the Bands. This actually occurred of me knowing somebody. So him saying you need know somebody can get you places. I didn't know this would happen. Next thing I know, I'm in a presidential suite with Caterpillar, talking to them, along with the Nancy president. I didn't know I was gonna be in there. And at like the very moment, it was like, this is a lot. So like as a freshman being in there, it's like you have juniors around you, you have juniors and seniors around you trying to get the job. You have people, you have higher ups talking to you like you're one of them. It's like, I just got out of high school a couple months ago. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm being so serious.
I'm with him. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But it's also an experience that allowed me to watch and see, okay, what is the professional world like? What do I need to, how do I need to carry myself? What do I need to involve myself in? Or what do I need to do? And what I really learned, you don't really need to do much. Just go in there and be yourself and talk. Like I'm comfortable talking to people. So as soon as I hit the person, like, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna just ride. I was able to talk to people, and I was talking to somebody head up a project who now I didn't get this weekend, but there's now a connection there that when I do get back on the weekend, I can just
100%.
Yeah,
So
please, oh, that's awesome, good.
That's a great story.
It's a lot at first. I'm gonna give you it's a lot at first, and then if you just let yourself get used to it, it's pretty.
And so here's the deal. I love that story because you're right. It's like, what am I doing here? I just know this cat that brought me. Yeah, that's awesome. First off, but yeah, who doesn't like talking to people in those settings? All right, okay, I get that. I don't either. But let me explain something real quick. If you don't like talking to people, here's a little secret. And honestly, even if you do like talking to people, here's another little secret. Ask questions. Just ask them questions. If you can listen and ask them questions, they'll do all the talking. And not only that, there's some science behind this. After someone talks about themselves for that amount of time, they'll walk away like, oh my gosh, that was a great conversation. I really like that person. I don't know why, something about that person. Seriously, there's something behind that. So if you don't like talking to people, ask questions, okay? And the more you get in these uncomfortable situations, right, where it's like overwhelming, it's like, who are these cats? Caterpillar, this guy, the more you get in these situations, the easier it's going to be. You're just going to be more comfortable being uncomfortable, okay? So I love how you said, I think that's a very great point that actually when we were talking about, I love how you said you just started watching how people were interacting. You started kind of observing. I think the power of observation when you are in these settings also, or even when it comes to public speaking, what type of behaviors, gestures do you see that are, oh, what is that guy doing? I like that. Or what is this lady doing? I like that. So observing people and kind of like picking up on some key traits that they're doing that you want to emulate, that's a great way to kind of learn how to network. Because again, there are uncomfortable situations. But if you see someone kind of constantly, okay, well, his hand's not in his pocket, he's always has his left hand on a drink, so that way he can always excuse himself from the conversation. That's another trick. Have a drink, water or coffee, whatever it is, so that way if you do want to excuse yourself, just drink it. That way you excuse yourself. That way you're not wasting your time. But when you go to these events, people know your students, all right? I love going to events and seeing students there. I just had one 2 weeks ago, and there was University of Houston, Texas A&M there. And it was awesome. And it was a room full of 260 people, and every single person in that room was pumped that students were there, okay? So first off, I want you to know when you are going to a networking event, you're wanted there. Like, gosh, people want to talk to you. They're very proud of like handing down knowledge or like meeting the next generation. That's a big deal. So first off, understand that you're going to that room, people want you there, okay? So don't feel intimidated or anything like that. And when you do go in the room, you have three options at these networking events. You can go by yourself and be a wallflower, not meet anyone, not talk to anyone, but hey, I went there. I went to a networking event, but I didn't meet anyone. You can go with a buddy. I think that's a good idea going with an accountability buddy, right? Go with someone where you feel a little more comfortable in this setting, but challenge each other to go approach people. You can do it together or separately. Or the third thing you do is if you're not with anyone, just lean into it. It's uncomfortable. I don't know anyone. I'm going to go talk. Hey, I overheard you talking. I'm a student at Prairie View A&M. It's my first time here. What's this all about? What is this all about? So when you're talking to people, just go up and ask questions. People will start talking, all right? And then when you ask questions, just ask questions like, it's active listening. So when you're asking questions to someone, and this sounds like common knowledge, but it's not common application. When you're asking questions, you're talking to people and all this stuff, make eye contact. And I think this is later in the slide, but due to time, make eye contact. This sounds stupid. Be interested. If someone's telling you something, like, I can't tell you the amount of times that when I'm explaining something, or talking to someone, or blah, 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 they're just like, I really want this job. Yes, I'm really eager about this job. I'm excited. I learned a lot. I really like my team. Is that telling me the same thing that the words are saying? No. Act how be congruent with your message, okay? If I'm telling you, I really want this job, I'm really excited about this job and all this stuff, you're going to know that there's something off. My words aren't matching my tone. My words aren't matching my body language. So when you're talking to someone, loosen up. And I've noticed that, listen, it's not a generation thing. It's like, oh, kids these days. It's nothing like that. But there is communication skills that if you learn them, such as active listening, moving your eyebrows up and down, acknowledging, and then repeating kind of back what they say a little bit, active listening. That's going to get you extremely far People are going to connect with you. People are going to remember you, and people are going to want you around. All right? They're going to want you around. I was talking nonstop to this cat. I like this person. Come on. So ask questions. All right? It's uncomfortable. No one likes walking in a room full of strangers and having to talk to people. I say try it, work on it, work on being uncomfortable. All right?
Something that I saw that was brilliant at the UT career fair that we just did, there was always one kind of more confident student, and he or she would bring along the freshmen or the less confident ones after they'd had a conversation with the recruiter, and they'd say, hey, Joanna, I want you to meet my classmate. This is Devon. Devon is also a civil engineer. And I'd be like, hey, Chris, thanks so much for bringing Devon along. Devon, it's great to talk to you. And Devon then, the introduction's been done, and he just would, relax and could get into a conversation. So buddy up. Find someone that's confident. Find someone that's already made a connection with a recruiter or a career fair person, and do it that way. Way easier.
And also, when you're walking in these things, like confidence, like people are going to perceive you how you project yourself, how you feel about yourself. So if you walk in unconfident, you're not really sure, your shoulders slow, people are going to perceive you as not being confident, not having authority, not really knowing what. But if you fake it, that fake it till you make it thing, that's actually, there's some valid points behind that, right? So if I'm up here talking about public speaking, I'm nervous. I am nervous, by the way. I don't like public speaking. I don't think anyone does. But if you observe and emulate those behaviors, those confident behaviors, you're going to come across more confident, and you're going to feel more confident. That's going to allow the conversation to flow a lot better, you to walk up and introduce yourself to people. So fake it. Fake the confidence. Yeah, so that was the follow-up stuff. All right. Yeah, communication with confidence. This is kind of something that I think, again, when I said like match your words with your body language, y'all, we have gotten so good at corresponding as a society. We're really good at text messaging. We're really good at emails. What happens when someone calls when we're texting them? What's usually the reaction? Like, what the hell are they doing? Like, why are they calling me, right? Like, we don't like, we talking to people is not our first method of communicating with anyone, right? So, texting, emails, that's only 7% how we communicate. That's it. That's only 7% how we communicate. Your words have I don't care if you're sitting in an interview, I don't care if you're talking to anyone, your words have far less of an impact than how you compose yourself, how you're communicating. Think about some of the best leaders or communicators out there, current history. They were extremely good at their tone, their pitch, their projection, their volume, their pauses, their body language, right? It wasn't the words. It was how they used their words. And whether you're in a career fair or whether you're in a job interview, you be congruent. If you're there, you're happy, you're excited, match your body, tone, pitch. One exercise y'all could do, film yourself. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. I don't care. I don't care if it's favorite movie. I don't care if it's that experience. Talk about whatever. Pretend it's a presentation. Watch yourself. It's going to be cringy. I don't like watching myself. I have a podcast. I don't even listen to my podcast. It cringes me. But I had to listen to myself because my wife's like, you say a lot of filler words. Let's play a game. Let's count the number of filler words you say in the first 2 minutes of your I stopped. It was embarrassing. Like, film yourself. Watch yourself. Are you pacing around too much? Are your hands in your pocket jiggling? I filmed one guy this summer, and he's like, yeah, my name is, and he's just jiggling. I'm like, don't jiggle, man. Like, what are you doing? But watch yourself. Critique yourself. Do y'all do study groups here? Yes. All right, I'll take it. Actually, give me 2, yeah, all right. Study groups. Take 5 minutes out, and one person lead what we're going to go over that day. Critique each other in a positive way. Hey, listen, great thing, but we didn't know where. So create opportunities to practice public speaking. Ask for feedback. You're not going to get anywhere else. So when you have a study group, take a 5-10 minute break where you actually can one person designate per week, okay? So work on that. And then when you do record yourself, listen to yourself. Could you pause? How's the flow? How's the tone? All right? Body language, 55%. It's crazy. It's crazy people will follow body language and tone more than words. Yeah, we just talked about this at when you're in networking events, active listening. That's really just listening and just being there. Don't think about what you got to say next. If you're actively listening, you don't have to think about what to say. It's just going to come. So active listening, eye contact, put your phone away, nod, smile when they're saying something. Like have a little, some reaction. And like, listen, I know it sounds stupid, but I've seen more conversations with students and this very stoic face. What should I say? What should I say here? What should I say? Okay, thank you. Yes, that sounds great. Like it's very like, do you not like? It's not congruent. So 7 minutes. Let's do this. Elevator pitch. Okay, this is how we're gonna wrap up. Elevator pitches. Elevator pitches are not for sales. They're throughout your entire life. I don't care if it's career fairs, networking events, dating, online, whatever it is. Elevator pitches are clutch. We're gonna go over 4 parts. After this, we're gonna tie it up. Okay? Okay. Elevator pitches. Next week for your career fair, start this today, all right? Your elevator pitch is composed of 4 parts and is broken up in 4 parts. That way, if you get interrupted, if the career fair is full of thousands of people and it's too noisy and you forget what you're saying, it's not a script, okay? It is a 4-part introduction, a briefing, a reel on who you are and what you can do for that company, okay? All of these should be concise as possible. This isn't your resume. This isn't LinkedIn. It needs to be concise. This, the conclusion, needs to be just as strong as your introduction, okay? All right? Introduction. Who you are, your background. Very brief, very concise, very short. And when you are delivering this, don't just deliver it like this. Don't just deliver this thing, I'm Prairie and I'm graduating. All right? Same thing with our body language, tone, and pitch. Match your pitch. Practice it. Rehearse it. All right? Personal value add. This is kind of looking back. So I'm going to pretend I had an internship, okay? So, and I'm looking for my next internship. Hi, I'm JP. I'm a mechanical engineer at Prairie View A&M. I just got done with an internship at Diamondback Energy, and we really dove into drilling efficiencies, and our team actually improved drilling efficiencies by 15%. Boom, that's it. I kind of gave you a tease on kind of who I was and kind of what I did, right? My experience, okay? And I'm going to get to what if you don't have an experience too. So I got you. Pump the brakes. All right, so that's your personal value add. For those that haven't had an internship, okay? For those that don't have experience or you feel like you don't have experience, we all have experience in this room. Talk about the stuff you're interested in. Hey, I just got done with, what's your major? Okay, I just got done with this computer science course and we're talking about AI and the next, chip model, whatever else.
I really don't have any good ones right now. Pick like a favorite class?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Pick a couple of favorite classes.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, and say why is your favorite. Hey, I really like computer graphics because I really enjoyed the 3D modeling. Whatever. I just made that up. But anyway, go with me here. So that's your personal value. This is what I've done. This is what I'm interested in. This is what my passions are. This is what I'm really digging about my major or my internship, right? So boom, you memorize your first one, memorize your second one. Those 2 should probably stay pretty similar. This one, you change up to who you're talking to. So if you're talking to, whether it's, a Diamondback Energy or a aerospace engineering company, whatever, that's going to change because the organization changed. So hey, my name is JP Warren. I'm a mechanical engineer from Prairie View A&M. I just got done with this internship at Diamondback, great company by the way, Diamondback Energy. We just did the drilling stuff. We improved by 15%. Hey, I see that your company is about to pick up, because I did a little research before the job fair, the career fair. I see your company is about to expand their presence in West Texas. Do you see, so you know a little bit, so do you see where my background could fit in your organization? So think of this as a kind of a puzzle piece. What can your passions or aspirations, if you don't have an internship, how can that help that organization? Does that make sense? So, introduction, this is kind of who I am, what I dig. This is how I can help your company, right? Conclusion, we all know people that talk to recruiters at career fairs for way too long, right? They hog up time, they take the time. You don't know, the recruiter might be like, okay, I'm on my feet for 8 hours, I haven't used the restroom all day, I had to go out. So be empathetic for who you're talking to. Just because you have their attention doesn't mean you need to take all their time, okay? So Conclusion, hey, really enjoyed this. Here's my resume. I'd love to follow up with you, talk about potential future opportunities. Can I get your contact information? Boom. That's it. That ending needs to be strong as this. And that's it. Smile, be confident, walk away. All right? Elevator pitch, 4 parts. Memorize the 4 parts. You might get interrupted here by somebody being like, excuse me, do you mind if I... Boom. You know where to jump back into. That's why it's 4 parts. And remember, this is not a script. Scripts you have to memorize. I always mess up on scripts when I try to memorize something. This is more your story, your real, okay? Do not list your resume. That's not any advice when it comes to career fairs and this.
Quite sure, because you're about to hand over your resume, and recruiters need to have something left to ask you questions on. If you've delivered it all in your opening script, and then I get your resume, I am all out of luck. I have no idea what to ask you. So don't go through your resume. Let the recruiter do that.
This is your reel. This is your hook. You want them to ask you questions. And speaking on that, have questions. So, piece of advice, have 1 or 2 questions in your back pocket to ask. Because nothing's worse than someone saying, you have any questions? Nope. Okay, cool, see you later. Like, have 1 or 2 questions, okay? It can be specific or broad. How did you get to where you're at? How would you describe the culture at your at your company? Intro, personal, so it's just a different way to frame it, okay? For the gram, do it, all right. All right. Start strong, have 1 or 2 questions. Be interested. Smile and have fun. Y'all, people want to work with people that they like. People like people that are human, that are authentic, that are vulnerable. Be yourselves. Have fun with it, okay? Practice your elevator pitch. Work it on each other, all right? Pretend you're a whatever company or whatever company. Hey, how would this work for you? Work on this, y'all. You have a week, and it doesn't take a lot to put together, but it's extremely important to put together because this is something you're not going to use now, but throughout your entire career. You see your boss in the elevator at work. What have you been working on? Boom. I don't know what to say. Boom, boom, boom. You already know what to say. That's impressive. So work on your elevator pitches. That way you're just comfortable with it. You know how to kind of go off the bat. And I think this is all do's and don'ts. At the end of the day, believe in yourselves because there's a lot of things, outside external things that kind of push you down and all that stuff. Do not set limiting beliefs on yourselves. Challenge those beliefs, all right? This is something I face daily. I struggle with daily. Challenge your limiting beliefs and change your limiting beliefs. Take accountability and take control of your trajectory, okay? It's not up to anyone else. Don't leave it up to the company to call you back. It's up to you to get that information so you can contact that company, okay? All right, so what am I missing? What can we go in that, obviously we can leave this, but I'm gonna kick it for a little bit, all right? So if you want to continue the conversation after, I'm in. If you want to go back wherever and do your homework and study, I dig that too. So anyway, I want to thank y'all. Obviously we wish we had more time, but I want to thank y'all for just being here, for just kind of being here late and all that stuff. Please connect with me. Yeah, 70% have imposter syndrome. Please connect with me. LinkedIn, TikTok, I give like mindset, like career advice. Same podcast, but I don't know. I don't want you to listen to that because you have to hear my voice. So anyway, so that's it. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank Diamondback. I want to thank you for being here. We got swag. We got all that fun stuff. Stick around. Say hello. I am. What else? Peyton, is that it? All right, so thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. We got rules?
Can we get a picture with
Oh, yes. Yes.
come to the front. Y'all know the drill.
Yes. I almost forgot the picture. That would have been my nightmare.